Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Tea. I'm your host, the amazing Tea Street. This is my Yeti cup. It's my Street Talk with the Amazing Tea Street cup. So I have that today. As you can see, I'm not in my normal space. I'm actually in a hotel in Columbia, Missouri. So I apologize for all the background stuff. But I'm going to jump right in today. Today is a heavier topic, but I want to do it because we're coming up on a weekend and it's a great time to do the things that we're talking about doing because I know sometimes our weeks can be busy. Today's topic: don't skip the process of checking on and for others. Don't skip the process of checking on and checking for other people. Today, it was just heavy because I was thinking about the young man who was a Dallas Cowboy football player, 24 years old, a couple of weeks ago. His name was Marshawn Nealand. And I was thinking about him and what must have been going on in his world that made it feel so heavy that he took his own life. And so I want to remind us that I know we live in a world where people are smiling in public and struggling in private. Sometimes the difference between someone sinking and someone standing is one simple act. Somebody cared enough to check in. Checking on and checking for people is more than kindness. Really, y'all, it's ministry. It's a way to reflect the heart of God in real time. So today I just wanted to walk us through the process of checking on and for others. And y'all know I love to do everything in 3 steps. So here we go. First step: be present enough to notice the need. That one hit me hard because sometimes admittedly, I'm not as always as present because my ADHD and I'm always in my mind doing a million things. You can't check on people that you're not paying attention to. Often the biggest cries for help come in the smallest shifts. Y'all, when I notice though, even though I'm busy, I notice when people go quiet or they go silent. Sometimes you notice the people pull back and something don't seem right. We were like such and such. The last encounter I had with them, it was off. Being present is the first step, y'all, to making sure that somebody is good. Presence is the posture of love. You don't have to fix anything. You just have to be there and be aware that there is a need. Ask yourself, man, who is on my heart? Whose name keeps coming to my mind? Who have I not seen from or heard or felt connected to lately? When we slow down enough to notice the people who need a gentle touch, they'll be fresh in our minds. Checking on people starts before you ever pick up the phone. It starts with paying attention. Reach out intentionally, not accidentally, y'all. I'm giving this message today because I know that there are people who are suffering in silence and no one sees them. Checking on someone isn't, hey, you good? In passing, it's an intentional act that says, you matter enough for me to pause my world and step into yours. And you can do it something as simple as sending a voice note instead of a text. Let them hear your voice and the intonation of your voice so they know the level of your care for them. Can I just tell you, Ebony Faddis is the queen of the voice note. She sent me one last week and it was a difference maker, y'all. And it made me want to do that more often rather than just sending a text that somebody can't feel the feeling. When I heard her message, it resonated for me and it did something to literally lift my spirits. Ask questions like, how's your energy lately? How's your heart posture? How you doing? What's been weighing on you? Don't wait for a crisis. Make care a rhythm and not a reaction. Care for people not just when they're in crisis. When you check on people with intention, you give them permission to be honest. You create a safe space where someone can exhale, where they can open up, and where they feel seen. Even if they choose not to discuss it with you, they know that you care enough to even ask how they are. Sometimes I'll call people and be like, hey, didn't talk to you. You good? If they've been in my spirit, I'm gonna call you and I'm gonna see you and be like, hey, been meaning to check on you. You good? And third, stand for people when they can't stand for themselves. Y'all, there have been periods in my life when I was too broken to stand for me. Sometimes checking on others leads to checking for them, advocating, supporting, stepping in when they don't have the strength. Y'all, when people are battling things like depression, sometimes they don't have the strength to get out of bed. They don't have the strength to eat. They don't even have the strength to ask for help. So, what are some ways that we can check for people? Well, let's start with the practical ways. We can pray for them when they can't pray the long prayers. We can speak up for them when they're too tired to articulate their needs. We can hold them until they get their footing back. Sometimes that's a physical hold, sometimes it's an emotional hold, sometimes it's a spiritual hold, and sometimes it's a financial hold. Checking for someone means being a bridge between where they are and where healing lives. It doesn't mean carrying their whole story, but it does mean helping them carry the corner of their story that they can't lift right now. And here's the truth: the same way you check for others, I really do believe, because I'm the recipient of it, that God will send people to check for you. So, in conclusion, the process of checking on and for people is simple, but it's powerful. Be present enough to notice the need, reach out intentionally and not accidentally, and stand for people when they can't stand for themselves. As we go into this weekend, I hope that you will take some intentional time to check for people that you haven't heard from in a while, because all of us are fighting battles that no one else knows about. I'm the Amazing T Street. There's absolutely positively nothing amazing in me that's not in each and every one of you. So I hope that you have an amazing weekend and you spend part of that weekend checking on and checking for other people. Have an amazing day.